What's going on, beautiful people? So behind me, look, is a new setup I did for an API video. It was out this weekend, you guys might have seen it. Anyway, it's sat in the middle of the room on the sort of wheels stand thing that I just shimmy around, but it needs to go in a permanent place. Now, lots of people ask me, how do you move tanks once you've set them up? Well, nanos like this is pretty simple. You just drain it down and be careful. For bigger tanks though, so I would do this with like up to a 60 centimeter, 2 foot tank. I probably wouldn't go any bigger than that. Right, that's the light off so we can move it. Many of you are going to ask about my water change system. So what we've got here is a little pipe with a guard on the end so we don't suck anything up, and a non-return valve as well, so I can tip it upside down, nothing comes out. Now this piece of pipe is full of water at all times, so it's already primed. It goes round there, it comes all the way down the back of this tank, and then it goes to this sort of pump here. Then that pump exits into the drain or waste away part of the sink area. Now, how do I turn it on and off, you know, just using the app on my phone? Well, it's always on, and then I plug it into a smart socket there, so I can just control it from anywhere in my 2 studios. It's quite simple, really. It's a good fix for if you've got like lots and lots of tanks, but to be honest, if I only had a couple of tanks, I'm happy just to lug a bucket around, if I'm honest. Or just get like a hose pipe and drain it straight into your garden or something like that. You don't need the big fast pump. I just have a lot to do. So most of the time, for instance, when you're doing a water change, you don't want it going down super fast, because you want to be using the sort of suction to take out any crud and stuff that's been, you know, left in corners and that sort of thing. But then when you've got as many tanks as I have, you need to come up with a system that you can change stuff nice and quickly. Otherwise, I'll just be doing water changes all day, every day. And ain't nobody got time for that. There we go, look, you can see I've removed one of the rocks because I was pretty sure that that one was going to fall over and smash, so I've just removed it whilst I, move the tank across. Now we can put it back in and fill it back up with water, and put the filter on as well, obviously. So the sparkling Gourami tank behind me is doing so good. This is like a no CO2 nature aquarium I've set up, and I think it's doing absolutely great. The only problem at the moment is the green dust algae on the glass, which is a normal occurrence in most aquariums and so easy, thankfully, just to wipe off like really quick. Now remember guys, when you are, look at that, it's just wiping off so easy. When you are wiping down your glass like this, you want to do it before you take out a load of the water. If you're doing a water change, that is. Like sometimes you don't want to always be doing a water change. Some people just do it routinely. I tend to do it by like what the water's telling me. So like if I'm getting higher nitrates, I'll do a water change. For instance, like this is going to go in the water column and it's going to get sucked up by the filter. And now the algae is not going to survive once it gets trapped in the filter media, is it? The sponges particularly. I mean, it needs light to survive, so it's not going to survive in there. So there isn't any harm in a little bit of dust algae like this, just wiping it off and then not doing a water change. It's just, you don't always need to do water changes. I know a lot of people advocate doing them like as a routine, but I think that's because they dose a ton of different sort of fertilizers every single day, like on a high-tech tank, and those values build up over time to the point where they need to, just dilute the whole solution, if you like, because the water becomes more and more strong with all these different nutrients and that. Yeah, but I don't do that, do I? I just put a nice good nutrient layer under the substrate, and then that's it. Like, just leave it to do its thing. If I see the plants looking a little bit deficient, like getting a little bit yellowy or something like that, where they're not supposed to, then I'll start to dose some nutrients. Normally it'll be nitrates, that kind of thing. After big water change, I put some iron back in and that kind of thing with the API. leaf zone, but then that's not one of those ones that just builds up high concentrations of nutrients. Okay, look at that. Nice quick clean off. It's looking so good. Look at how good that Anubias. And the moss, look, remember I said to you, just tie it on and then just keep on sort of trimming it back. And as a result, look, now we've got that nice, thick, dense, bushy growth that you normally see with sort of high-tech tanks, just as a result of trimming it regularly. Look how beautiful it looks. And to be honest, they grow so big that those 3 little spots was plenty. I didn't need to do any more. Oh, I've just noticed something as well. Look at the Rotala HR starting to get some red tips now, which is great to see. A little bit more height up to about there and it'll be properly red. Remember, I planted some in that section and I also planted some down in the back there as well. Pearlweed's coming back again. How does it do it? And look how good the sparkling gouramis are still. Oh, do you remember last time I showed you the tank? The 2 female guppies in here got big old bellies on them. I was pretty sure we'd have like baby endlers by now, but look, they've still both, like, she has got to be going soon. You have got to be popping. She popping. So sometimes it looks like there's some aggression going on with sparkling gouramis, and that is completely normal. They're very territorial, and provided they all stay in their own little sections, you know, there is a peaceful community. So we've got 3 in here. I'm only seeing 2 at the moment. Oh, there we go. 1 there, and the other one just died around the back. Yeah, so we're all good. All fish accounted for. I feel bad now. I should feed them, shouldn't I? Because I just tapped. Okay, so as always, guys, I feed my fish the aquarium flake food. This works really well, doesn't sort of pollute the water or anything. And what I like to do is pinch it between my fingers and then just put it in the flow of the outlet and crumble it, just so it goes into a little bit smaller pieces. There's a variation in size, because obviously we've got different sized fish in here, haven't we? So the tiny little endler mouths, and then the sparkling gourami is only a little bit bigger. But the endlers will be able to get, you know, like flake quite easy. They just crumple it all up. But look, they're all going to town there. Feeding time. There we go. Dart in and out of everywhere, didn't they? Whoa, see, sparkling gouramis, I tell you what, some of the quickest nano fish. They are so fast when they want to be. There's no way, if this guy darted off now, I could not keep up with him on the camera. You see that there? Look, one of them got that big bit of flake. Go on then, you won it. You have won the right to eat it. Look, even the Amanos come out. Oh, there's food. There must be food around here. There's one there. We've got one there as well. I tell you what, they've done an absolutely fantastic job of keeping this substrate clean. Look, there's not a single bit of sort of mess on it anywhere at all. And usually I tend to put cories in the tank to keep the substrate stirred up and clean. But I suppose given the, you know, we've got a decent amount of flow coming out, it's looping all the way round, and the Amano's constantly walking, pitter-pattering and picking all over it, has meant that it's stayed quite clear in such a small area. I guess it's because the flow can actually reach every point. That's why triangular compositions are actually really good. You know, you can do it all with 1 point of flow. Do you know what I mean? Because you get that circular motion. That area gets swooshed up, and this area comes that way and all goes back round again. Now, providing in the background area, you know, where all these plants are planted, you bring the substrate right up, it tends to continue that flow as well. It's only when you have like big gaps going deep down, you get problems with food, detritus, waste, all of that collecting down there. But yeah, I absolutely love this tank. I want all my tanks to be of this standard, so that's my goal at the moment. I'm trying to get everything up to the standard. And you know, over here we've got the German blue ram tank. I'm currently in the process of trying to get that there as well. But we've had some great progress since the last video where I showed that it was just looking horrible. The only thing is the glossostigma failed again. I'm not sure why. It might be a plant that I just steer clear of. It could have been a temperature. It could have been that the lights were left on for so long when I forgot to set the timer properly. But we're starting to get there. Like, there's not like algae and mold on all of the leaves anymore. So I think given a few more weeks, we should be looking really good. And the better fish just above this tank are doing really well. It's really hard to do this with the camera because we've got like a sort of darker tank and then a lighter tank. The camera can't do both, so it makes this one look really bright and this one look really dark. But they're actually both somewhere near the middle. It's just how it works with cameras. But yeah, there we go, look. Hellboy seems to love this tank. Loads of space for him, look. We've got all the cover as well. He sort of likes going in behind the back, but he's not shy at all. He absolutely loves it. And you know, right next to him, he's got his buddy again. Do you remember I did have a different tank here before that he was in? Anyway, that sort of grew way too much. didn't keep on top of it. I know that's a recurring thing. Again, that's something I'm trying to change. This is all getting trimmed right back soon, and as is this tank next to it. This tank underneath the pearlweed, which again is something that just grows so fast, looks really, really quite cool. It looks like a little forest in there. We've only got a few little endlers in there, but they seem to love it. Right, the plants are in for the African river system. They've got such a good bunch of plants here. Let's get them all out, have a look at them. They've got lots to go through. To be honest, I probably went completely overboard, but it's okay because I've got spares for other setups then as well. Or I'll just use them all. La la la, la 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 la. Ooh. First, straight out the box. What is this? What have I ordered here? Ah, Riccia. Riccia. Some people love it, some people hate it. It's very vibrant, very green, and you know, it's something you would see in the African river systems, allegedly. That's what I read online anyway. Yes, it's kind of like a moss, but it's not. I don't know how to, it's actually a floating plant, but we submerge it and stick it to things and it grows everywhere. It should look really, really good. 6 pots of those should be enough to dot about the place. It's going to fill in so fast. More packaging, a little Tropica Live thing. This is the new thing Tropica are doing. Sounds pretty interesting. George is sort of hosting it, I think, as well, so that's cool. Oh, look at this lot. Okay. This is not the usual plants I order, so it's all a little bit different. Let me get some of them out, put them on this table, then we can take a better look at them. Right, a load of trident ferns. I've got some already, but add to it because we're going to be using a lot of ferns in the scape. Alternanthera Reinecke Pink. This is not actually an African one at all. I just got it because I didn't have any and I thought it would be good to get 5 of those as well. And this is the Crinum it's that. Thyanum? I don't know. But yeah, look, it's a great big mass of these really cool onion plant is what it's actually called, I think. Like the sort of simple term. I think it is anyway. And now for all of the Anubias. Oh yes, we got some really good plants here. So look, this one I've never had before. Anubias gracia. It looks like way more sort of spikier leaves. It's looking really interesting. We've got Microsaurus Wendelov as well as the trident fern then. And we've got Anubias barteri coffifolia. Yeah, look at those leaves. Look at how nice they look. So I've got a massive variation of all of the different Anubias, just so that it's going to be Anubias heavy, but lots of variants of that type of plant. So it should look really textured good with different sizes. I've also got, you know, the Anubias petite as well. So you look there, you've already got right in front of us 3 different types of Anubias that actually look completely different. Oh, and not to forget the Nymphia lotus. This looks so good once it starts to grow in. Oh, it's going to be so good. There's still so many more to go. I've only done a quarter of the box. Ooh, we're starting to get there. That's halfway done. So we've got Microsaurus narrow as well. So we've got the other variant of the trident and the Wendelov. So they're all different. And we've got Bulbitis too. So, you know, very, very much an African looking plant, that, the Bulbitis. That's going to look great. I'll be taking all these out and putting them in a storage tank as well, so we're going to be ready to go. In fact, I'm going to have to start doing that now, aren't I? Because I've run out of space on my display table. So, for instance, over here I've got some space. Oh, I just stood on something. Yeah, over here I've got some space in this tank. At the moment I've got all of that. What is it? We've got HC Cuba, we've got over this side Glossostigma, and we've got Monte Carlo, but I can sort of shimmy that up, so I've got another row in there. And then I've also got some good space in front of all of these plants for more to go in as well. So yeah, we've got plenty of space. Well, I might even need to use another tank, but I've got other stuff spare if need be. Right, that's that one stocked up. We've got various different Anubias in there. We've got different Java ferns as well, Trident and the Narrow, and there's some S repens at the back, Monte Carlo, all that kind of thing. So that's full. You don't want to sort of overcrowd it. I've left half decent gaps between most things, except for the carpet and plants because they're fine as they are. They're all coming out very shortly actually for a new build, so I'm not too worried about them being bunched, but I've left gaps between everything else. It really doesn't look like it, does it? This is all coming out soon, okay? So we're all stocked up down here as well. We've got all the Anubiases, we've got the Riccia moss, and we've got Trident ferns, Barbatus in that section, and a mother plant there of a normal sort of regular Java fern. Look how beautiful that looks. And obviously the rest are all in there. So very shortly I'm going to be doing, the new build in this tank. I need to switch these lights around. It's a job I keep putting off. I don't know why. It's not going to take that long. Just do it. Yes, we are now basically ready to start the build. Yes, I think I've centered those right up. They look about right. Just done it by eye. I could measure it, but why bother? Really struggling to keep focus with that white background, but it's going to look so good. I've actually pulled it off the wall slightly, look. Like that, so hopefully we can get some good sort of light going on the background as well, because then you don't get like a real sort of darker effect. You know, like over on this tank over here, if you look in the background look section, you get that sort of darker colouring. Now granted, this water is slightly tinted as well because of that beautiful manzanita wood. Look how good this tank looks. I'm loving it. So in the last video we added in extra lighting and everything to it, and already I can see that the plants are doing so good. Anyway, it's not about this tank. Yeah, so we've got all the plants now. I've also collected 90% of all the hard strip. I'm just waiting for a few little bits to come, and then I can actually start. So looking forward to this African tank build. It's gonna look sick. And as always, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this one. If you have, click the subscribe button, the bell button, so that you can continue on the story of MD Fish Tanks.